It is.
Calling our pre-commission meeting to order at 8:02 a.m. Good morning to everyone. I'm going to start off looking at our CRA agenda. Are there any questions for Ben regarding CRA?
I do.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting on one section of the written portion. It said, I wish I could find the,
Talking about the goals and objectives.
yes, it said morals. It had morals in there.
I just copied that straight from the CRA plan that was written in 2004 or 2003.
I just thought that was interesting wording for a government agency.
Mhm.
Did anybody else think that was odd?
It just has some background information. This is another report. Back in April, the Florida legislature passed this this House bill that special districts and CRAs are special districts have to prepare a new report each year that outlines the goals and objectives of the CRA and also the projects that we identified to work on for the year. And then on the last page, you'll see the performance measures.
Yeah,
You know, did we really accomplish our goal, or did we miss something? So there will be another report in December of 2025 that will look back at these projects, and then I'll have to report if we met our goals and objectives or not.
yeah, I compliment you on a report.
It's just plain. I mean, I'll try to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Anything else for the CRA? All right. Thank you, Ben. Moving on to number 9, discussion and possible approval for the final millage rate. You know, we last meeting talked about 4.05. Any other concerns regarding the final millage rate?
It's just exactly the same as what we voted on last time, right? It's just kind of like the one more must have 2 meetings type deal.
Yeah. All right. Any questions on that? All right.
Any surprises at the meeting coming up on the millage rate?
That's why we're discussing it now.
I just want to make sure.
I got you.
No.
B, discussion and possible approval to adopt the final general fund and enterprise fund budget for 2025. Is everybody good with that? Regular meeting minutes, again, urge everyone to look over those. Are there any updates, as you can see now, that need to be made to those? All right. And then moving on to new business development order for Meadows Run subdivision. Any questions about that?
I have one question about it. Is it because it only has 28 sites that it's on entry one way in, one way out? Because of the land density that could be applied? I still don't understand why you're going to have a neighborhood with only one way in, one way out again.
I think if I'm not mistaken, 50.
Yes, sir.
50.
Our code says 50, and it's multifamily.
putting more traffic on 390.
Any more questions on that one? And of course, the preliminary plat goes along with that. So are there any questions about that? All right, and then taking us to our animal codes. Number 13, any questions for staff or Amy or any comments on that one?
No, we're good.
All right, so it's just a updated compilation of all the comments that we've had about it, that we've, come to a consensus on over the time that we've discussed it. And then we'll continue working through our codes and our ordinances. We'll start up again in October, working through another chapter. So I think we did good working through the animals, and we'll pick our next one after that. All right, so that's our agenda for Tuesday. I know a couple of weeks or a few weeks ago, we discussed a comprehensive plan in the UODC. Of course, we had Dr. Chapin to come in for that. We initially agreed to let staff make necessary updates to the comprehensive plan, then allowing us time to, have more discussion about it to meet so that we can adequately discuss it and provide input to it so we can update it. The last discussion we had, a couple of those discussions was, hey, how do we want to get input from the public? One of the things we talked about was a town hall. Another thing we talked about was surveys, but we sort of came to a standstill after our last discussion because we really didn't come to a consensus on whether or not we wanted to move forward with conducting a survey, because we know it's $7,000 to get the software or the company in order to conduct that. Those not limited to that survey. And so talking with city manager, staff is needing direction from us. How do we want to proceed? Do we want to just not worry about surveys or public input per se, just continue to move forward, or continue to get public input as we normally do from the meetings that we have, meeting with individuals, emails, etc., as we address the comprehensive plan? Or do we want to start with the UODC and allow that to drive what we put into the comprehensive plan as we go back to it? So there's a couple of ways to tackle it. Of course, in talking with Dr., in hearing him, the comprehensive plan is more the visionary document that sort of guides where we want to go and how we want to do it. And of course, the UODC is more about regulations as to how do we enact the vision that we've set forth through the comprehensive plan. So, we have to make a decision on how do we want to move forward and what is it that we're expecting staff to do to assist us in moving forward. You have any thoughts, Ms. Vandergrift?
Yeah, are we under a timeline for this? Is there any, right, so we're, it's hard for all of us to agree. I mean, it's not we don't agree, it just takes longer for everybody. My thought is, I know Pat's interested in one section of the comprehensive plan, and Jamie's interested in another part. Is there any way we can split up responsibilities and then bring it back?
I'm actually more interested in the ULDC. I think the answer's in our regulations versus the comprehensive plan.
See?
Right.
And Jamie, what do you feel?
I said what I said at the workshop. I mean, I read the first, you just read the first couple sentences and you're like, yeah, lots changed since this has been done before.
See, that's my point.
And I think,
Yeah, that's why we're discussing it now. I understand. That's why we're discussing it.
And I think when you read that, you're like, yeah, this is definitely outdated, it needs to be updated. And I think it's important to start with a comprehensive plan, get that done, because I've been asking about this for over a year now. And that's my opinion. I think we should start with a comprehensive plan and then go to the ULDC.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is look how long it took us just to get through the animal portion that we're voting on. How many months? And it's no one's fault. I mean, we're all, we
Well,
work and we,
It depends on what issues are happening within the city as to how long it takes us to get through it. That's the real answer. Yeah, so,
I mean, it takes time to do those things.
yeah.
Trying to get everybody's schedule and time is always an issue. That's my 2 cents you asked me.
So really a no answer. I got you.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, you have any thoughts on it?
Did we ever do the Tyler Notify to see if people were even interested in doing a survey?
Because we
We never
put it
agreed on
out
that.
there, but how do we count all of those answers coming in? That was our big thing.
I mean, you could just say, are you interested in filling out a survey in the future? Yes or no? And then if you only got like 200 responses, it's not worth the money.
Can we do that?
So we would want to put some type of. We would want to put something on the website where they can select yes or no, but the Tyler Notify would be a link to that website.
Okay.
Tyler Notify doesn't have the capability for them to make a selection,
Right.
but it can take them where they need to go to make that selection.
Yeah, that would work. That would, because we don't really, honestly, we just want to count the yeses. And if there's there's how many people in a city you only get like 1,000 responses of a yes, is it worth $7,000 to get such a small sample size? I would say no. But if we got an overwhelming response of 8,000 people saying, yeah, we really want to have input into this, then maybe we could consider it.
Well, we took it out of the budget. You guys told us we didn't want to spend the money.
Okay.
So no
That kind of
survey.
answers that.
Are there particular areas of the UODC, Commissioner Perner, that you want to look into?
Zoning.
So some. All right, so I guess a happy medium is we can start on the comprehensive plan, the big visionary part of it, and also look at zone. I think we can look at zoning at the same time.
Well, a lot of our zoning is in the comprehensive plan. Probably needs to come out.
Amanda?
We don't have zoning, first of all. So when you get emails from people that talk about C1, C2, what they're talking about is county zoning. Our city got rid of zoning before I came here. I don't know why. We have a future land use map. I mentioned to you a little while ago about the possibility of having zoning, because right now all our commercial is lumped together in one thing. So we don't have the option of saying you can't put that type of commercial there, because in our code it allows for it. The other thing that I wanted to mention when you're talking about the comp plan is they will not give us an extension on the things that we have to do, which are things that I'm working.
We've already approved that for you all to do that.
No, but what I wanted to say to you is I'm working on that now. So some of the things that you're talking about as being outdated in the comp plan will be going away. So I don't know if you want to, I'm going to be bringing that to you like December, January latest, whether you want to wait and see how it is with all that gone to start working on it, because I don't want you wasting your time on things that aren't going to be there anyway.
Now, are there particular areas for you, Commissioner Ward, in regards to the comp plan that you thought need to be reviewed?
Density. And you got all the different densities. Do we want to look at changing that, keep it the same? Because I know a lot of residents, that's what they complain. Concerns are, is getting too dense. And then, with the different, and this probably falls more in the ULDC, but it is in the comp plan as far as the different types of uses for all the different land use codes, which would change if we went to zoning.
All right. Any other thoughts in regards to the discussion on the comprehensive plan or ULDC?
I'm a big fan of zoning, so just want that out there. I think that'll solve a lot of our problems. I know that it'd be big overhead at first, but I think it'll pay for itself in the future.
I think just establishing a zoning map would be
Yeah.
you don't have to have a zoning department.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It gives more clarity to development, so.
Right. And like we have overlays and stuff, but we could be more specific, like, you know, what can be done on Florida Avenue versus 77 versus 390 versus, you know, we have the future use land map, but the zoning, we could be really specific. And I just think that's a good thing.
And I think some of what we do in the ULDC basically sort of correlates with what the CRA already says that you can and can't do in the CRA. So sometimes we're looking at the ULDC, it's really, as we've discussed it over the past few years, it's really been outside of the CRA. Because the CRA is like its own, sort of its own zoning per se. So the CRA is if I'm understanding it correctly, a zone within itself, which has the do's and don'ts in that as well. Yes, ma'am.
The CRA has the future land use designations. So let's take low density residential. So right now, under residential, we have low density, medium density, high density. Under low density residential, all we have is that you can go up to 4.99 units per acre, and then we have our setbacks. So in the CRA, you've got low density, you've got mixed use, you've got commercial, you've got a range. What most other people have, when you have zoning, if you had low density residential, you wouldn't just have that 4.99 dwelling units per acre. You would have something like an R within the land use, because we still have to have that. You would have, let's say, for example, an R10, R11, R12, and the R12 would mean that a buildable lot had to be at least 12,000 square feet. An R11 would be 11,000 square feet. So you can get more specifics in there. And the same with your commercial. You can break your commercial into different designations. So we do have the CRA, but within the CRA, we don't have zoning. We still just have the land use.
And now with the 1911 historic plat,
Yes.
we have the designations as to what the lot size has to be for that.
Only if it's low density residential. We don't have any if it's mixed use or commercial.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Anything else?
I know at the last pre-commission meeting, I brought up about, our traffic safety policy and procedures. And I actually sent that email out to the other commissioners. You guys have a chance to look at that and just want to know what your thoughts are on that.
We should probably review it, and update it at some point so that it's more straightforward. So that we don't have to have conversations about what's, you know, go back and forth. And it was done quite a while ago, so
It's in 2017.
yeah.
And it was really made for stop signs and humps. There was nothing in there about the speed bumps, which were always left to the city to do. So I have been working on making some updates to put something specifically in there about speed bumps, because those are retractable. Speed humps are permanent, and they require contractor work, striping, all of those things. That's the reason those things will go to the commission. That's the reason those stop sign will go to the commission. But the speed bumps are something that you can put in and out and make a decision if you can traffic calm an area for a particular time and then take them up. So they're kind of a temporary to get people in the mindset of just slowing down. Okay. So I am working on updating that, and we'll get that to you. I've already added speed bumps in there because that was not addressed. And that's just something the city has always done themselves.
I had somebody who lives in Mowat Highlands tell me yesterday that they're not speed bumps, they're stop bumps.
Is it the same one that came and complained about the speeding?
No, this is a different resident.
I mean,
Quiet guy, dry sense of humor, you know.
you're looking at the data, there's no kidding. It shows that there's a speeding problem there. I think we all can agree on that. Reason I asked you guys to look at it is,
Speeding problem on Indiana Avenue.
do you think the city did all the proper steps on this? That's the question I really wanted to know.
I guess what else did we want the city to do? I mean, they came and the staff brought it to us, we discussed it. They brought the updates back to us, told us what their procedures would be. So, besides going, and in some sense we could say, hey, they didn't go and ask the residents, but the residents are the ones that actually came and complained about it.
They did.
You know?
And when you read this, the way I read it is the intent of it is to have whoever's initiating the complaint be involved in the process to make sure that they get the buy-in from all the other residents in that area. And of course, that area is defined by the traffic comment committee.
And Commissioner Ward, where there seems to be some gray area, is that the only thing it addresses is in here is speed humps. There's a difference between speed humps and speed bumps. And if we were going to put in a permanent something, that would be a process exactly we would follow, come to you guys. But something for traffic calming that could be temporary, that would be something to help out that neighborhood until, we can probably get a handle on it. So that's the way the city differentiated the two of them. I've added that as I go through this committee, as I go through this traffic safety speed hump, so that that really is on the speed bumps are the onus of the city, something that can be done quite, fairly quickly, especially if there is a high speeding problem, which there was a very, very, I don't think we've ever got that type of data back in a neighborhood before. But if you want us to bring both the humps, the bumps, the stop signs to the commission, we can do that. But as long as I've been here, the only ones that have been brought to the commission were stop signs and humps.
So all right, I'd like to read the introduction of this and let me know what you think when I read the introduction. Traffic calming is a traffic management approach to slow vehicular speeds as they move through commercial and residential neighborhoods. The benefit for pedestrians and bicyclists is that cars now drive at speeds that are safer and more compatible. The Commission recognizes that properly placed and designed safety common devices are an effective tool for reducing vehicular speeds and discouraging cut-through traffic. Traffic common devices can be grouped within the following general categories: bumps, humps, and other raised pavement areas, yield signs, reduced street area where motor traffic is given priority, street closures, traffic diversion, surface texture and visual devices, parking treatments. The city will utilize the U.S. Department of Transportation Manual of Uniform Traffic Devices and Florida Statutes Chapter 316 as a guide to establish locations for traffic common devices. As noted, the city has original jurisdiction over all street and highways located within its boundaries and may use other means to justify a common device in the promotion of public safety. In efforts to assist the Commission in making a decision regarding a citizen request or commission request, all requests will go through a traffic safety committee consisting of the city manager, city engineer, public works director, police chief, and fire chief. After committee review of the information, the city manager will make a determination and provide a recommendation to be considered by the commission. The commission has the authority to accept the city manager's recommendation or reject it.
I don't have bumps on mine. Only thing I have here humps and other pavement areas. That's what I have.
Well, this is what's on the website. It says approved October 2017.
That's all.
I mean,
So,
Sounds to me like we need to update the policy and get it, because there's some confusion there.
because, and this is why I'm bringing it up is, you know, I'm sure plenty of people come up to Commissioner Perno and come up to the rest of you talking to us about it. And what I want to say to them is the city followed all the policy and procedures that are set in place. But when I read this, I feel like I can't say that. And reading this, it sounds like any safety calming device that we put up is supposed to come to us as the commission to vote on it. That's the way I read it. That's why I was asking you guys to look at it and tell me what you think.
I guess if we put this in the same, and that's traffic calming device, I know when we had the issue over in Publix parking lot, traffic committee met. I was on site there a couple of times when they met. But that wasn't an issue that was voted on by the commission, though.
No.
That was something that traffic committee met about. It was initiated with citizen complaints.
Mm-hmm.
So when citizens do respond to me and make citizens come and ask me and say, well, why did the committee do X, Y, Z? Well, you had citizens to complain about it, so that initiated the complaint.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't something, that was a big change, but it wasn't something that they had to bring to us in order for us to vote on it to change it. So I do get people to say or ask questions about that particular thing. My response is that's something that citizens initiated. I do understand your point too, because when I had the town hall,
Absolutely horrible there.
you know,
Pick out the stop sign and some people stop, some people don't. They're constantly like having traffic jams at that intersection. It's bad.
and so yeah, because I was at the town hall when we discussed the traffic committee, and so hey, there wasn't anything documented to say these are the procedures for that. So I did follow with city manager, had a
What you're
discussion.
saying is right now it goes to the traffic committee and they make the applicable action.
Well, the
But
city
it should
manager
come-
makes the recommendation based on the feedback get from the traffic calming committee. And then the way I read it, it's supposed to come to us. and
Supposed
we're
to come back to
vote
us
on
to
it.
vote on.
And I guess the issue is that there was nothing in there discussing speed humps or speed bumps to decide who does what with the speed bumps, because there was nothing in the policy discussing speed bumps prior to now or
correct,
prior to what's being updated.
correct. And I am updating that, and I have added speed bumps, and it would be very clear of the policy that I know since I've been city manager, that's the way speed bumps are done. If you want everything to come to the commission, I'm absolutely.
I'm just looking at the policy. and
Yeah, no, I'm
procedures.
just saying, if you guys want everything to come to the commission, I'm fine with that. You know, our whole goal was just to protect
I-
the citizens.
I like the idea as far as, you know, whoever is initiating it, you know, has to get involved in the process. I like that idea. And then they have to get the buy-in of the residents. And I think they did that for a reason, because when you look at what's going on in Moa Highlands, you got half the people saying this and half the people saying that, you know. But definitely something needs to be done, not disagreeing with that. I'm just questioning the policy on it, that's all.
So I will rewrite this and bring it to the commission for approval.
Anything else?
No.
Can I speak on this issue?
No, ma'am.
I want to be confused. My grandson's going to ball. Because you know that this is a big issue with me.
Right. Yes, ma'am. If you'll send us an email or talk with us after the meeting. Thank you. Anything else?
So I think some of you, I don't know if everyone got the email from the guy that had water come in his house over this weekend.
I did.
Okay, so just wanted to bring that up because I think that's the main goal right now is, yeah, structural. So if what he's saying is true, and I saw the pictures, and you know, this is a little bit unique because it's because of the water going into the sewage and the sewage coming up and all that. But maybe, I don't know, we need to get some type of, I don't know, as a commission or just us as citizens, help push that just because you're not in a flood zone doesn't mean you can't flood.
That's very true.
Like flood zone just means you're legally obligated to have flood insurance. That's literally all it means. But with that being said, I do think that it would be, since we had a rain event, that obviously was a ton of rain at once. I mean, I saw a picture from a friend that they had a boat, like just on their trailer that filled up with water. Like it was a lot of water.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the type of rain we get regularly. That being said, I think that it would be a good idea to maybe have Chris Lightfoot give an update on the projects that are being worked on, like we do periodically. I also do think it's important that since we just approved stormwater, that we create some type of goals, and I know Chris has goals, but to have like an official document of like, with this money, these are the goals, this is how we're gonna meet them, and this is where we're at to meet those goals. And I don't know, every quarter or something, give an update to everybody on the goals, what the goals are and how they're being met.
We do have that.
Yeah.
And he was doing that
He was
every,
doing that,
and then there are just not any updates. But he will do a presentation the first meeting in October that tells of all the projects. Some of them are, as you know, are grant driven. Particularly one resident that I was talking to yesterday, that is in the hand of the DP and Army Corps of Engineers before we can move forward to get that permit. That's about a $300-something-thousand project. And then once that happens, and he was like, oh, okay, I understand that, but we're gonna do some temporary for him. But yes, he does have that, and he will do that first one in October, first meeting in October.
Okay. One suggestion I have for making a plan is that we start creating a reserve. I know that the stormwater is for the day-to-day operations, but we do have one of the biggest things I've seen when talking to people, whether that was 2 years ago walking around knocking on doors or people just contacting me, is there's a bunch of one-offs that obviously cost money to fix. So do we have a reserve specifically for stormwater for like one-off situations? Like, there's no way to guarantee that every ditch that was dug properly. That's impossible. So there's going to be times where ditches have been dug improperly, whether like this or, there could be something blocking something that we were not aware of.
Those are
specifically with
things that,
stormwater.
those are things that we can do in-house, because we have the back truck. So if that were to happen, we can come in and suck out all of that, anything that's impeding those pipes there. Of course, this is the third or fourth year we've done stormwater assessment. If you remember, there was no money in stormwater at all. And so I think as we get through these projects, because there is a stormwater plan, just so you know, the commission approved that in 2018, and it's looked about like that, and that's kind of what we went off of in terms of the stormwater plan. But yes, we do have just a little bit of money when, just like this resident on Vermont, we're going to go in and fix that temporary until the entire project is permitted. So there's some money there to do those small projects if possible. Yeah. Yeah. We try not to let those projects linger, something that we can do. And then here's the other challenge too. There are a few contractors who are expert in those areas. They have so much work. Sometimes it takes them, I don't know, a month just to get to the project,
Right.
because they're usually under $35,000. That means you have to have 3 quotes. We get those projects done, but it just takes a little bit longer as opposed to a big project and people are bidding on and you can get it done quicker. But yes, we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you
It's
tell
very
us
small.
where the house is at?
The one with the water came up.
Jersey, 1409 Jersey, isn't it? Yeah,
What is it? Louisiana?
1409 New Jersey.
New Jersey?
Yeah, and we are doing some surveying there. Ask Chris to go on and do some survey there to see what's going on in that
That
area.
hasn't been a problem before, has it?
Never, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
Is there construction going on around there that could have blocked some?
It was just one, this person said that they had contacted us before, but they are nowhere on our list. I mean, you guys probably seen the list that we were keeping, and just about all those houses are off. So this was our first time hearing of 1409 New Jersey.
I guess one more thing on the stormwater is I sent that slideshow out, so you guys could look at that and give me some feedback. That'd be great.
Anything else?
Is that, the, backflow, stuff? I got a 15-day notice. Am I like one of the deadbeats that hasn't gotten that done yet? Or is there a lot of people that are in the,
I think they're doing them in waves.
okay?
Yeah.
Because they hung something on my door.
Yeah. Mr. Clyde, he goes out and he'll do them in waves when it's time for you to do that renewal. I mean, I got one.
Yeah,
a couple months
yeah.
ago, So yes,
I got one yesterday. It said 15 days.
Yeah.
So I obviously didn't regard the first one, so.
It has to be inspected every 2 years?
Yeah.
Why?
State.
the state.
That's a state requirement?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's a
the
state
DEP requirement.
Yeah, we're, trust me, we're not
Yeah.
pushing that. In fact, we tried
Yeah.
pushing against it.
Yeah,
It's, I don't know, you want my opinion, I think it's all ridiculous because they say that, you know, if you get a low pressure, that it could go through your sprinkler system, which has valves in it and there's chemicals there, it could get into the water system and that, and the chances of all that happening, you know, yeah,
It's a stretch.
it is.
I do want to get a commission update too, something mentioned about someone had not received the bill for years or months or whatever it was. We do have a consumption report. Now, the thing with that report, it just spits out everyone that has no consumption. So it could be somebody's turned off their irrigation for the summer because they don't want to use money for their irrigation. But we have someone specifically assigned to go out and check those meters to make sure that they are working. And then there are many that are not. When people get their first bill, we don't back bill them, but when they get their first bill, they call us and say, I got a water bill, and we say, yes, you did, because you haven't been receiving one for the past couple of months. And so we do work through that list. I can tell you, when I came on as city manager, there were 3,000 people on that list. That was right after Hurricane Michael, of course. And so they worked that list down, I want to say, Stephanie, to about 600, somewhere along in there. And so we have someone specifically assigned to that. I want you to know that.
That we have 600 people not paying the water bills?
Well, that's the report, but we don't know if there's 600 people not paying. It could be that, for instance, irrigation is on there as well. Yeah, so it could be they just turned.
Or it could be a
irrigation.
vacant house.
It could be a vacant house. Yes, those are kind of things. But we have to check every single one regardless.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And I do just want to clarify that they're receiving a bill, they're paying their base rates, they're just not paying that $3 and some change per 1,000 gallons. And then as those meters get changed out, that's when we get a call about their bill being higher than normal, but that's just productivity
base
showing,
rate.
Until
so,
they got a discounted rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but they're doing really good catching it up, so.
So now they got to pay
Great job.
retail.
Yes.
Anything else before we go? All right. See you Tuesday. Meeting adjourned.